Hello and welcome to Midwest Sports Now. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams. I'm glad you're watching. We are live for the first time this athletic year, and I'll tell you what, it is absolutely a privilege to get to do this. I'm very, very thankful to be here. We have gone through the time of no sports, and we are coming out on the other side. So it is absolutely it's a privilege to get to be here and broadcast. It's our first live broadcast again on the channel. And if you're watching us live, thank you very much for watching us live. If you are watching the replay, it's obviously not live, but thank you for watching the replay. If you know something about time travel, I can't tell you if it's live or not. But again, thank you for watching and being a part of it. And we're going to be talking a little bit of the NAIA, now the Midwest Sports Net YouTube channel, of course, our Facebook page, our coverage on Twitter, and throughout all of our many sports sites. We focus on small college sports. We do some high school sports as well. We do some Division I sports as well. Our focus is Division II, Division III, NAIA, and of course, we will branch out beyond those things. But I would encourage you, if you're watching us on YouTube tonight, actually, if you're watching us on any channel tonight, please do support the YouTube channel. I would appreciate that a lot. It would help us dramatically. The goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, and you could be a part of that. So please do consider subscribing to the channel, Midwest Sports Net. Now, tonight, we're going to be talking NAIA football. Actually, we're going to do our Primetime 5 tonight. So we will get right to, well, I say we'll get right to that. Let's go ahead and give a little bit of bonus recognition from NAIA football from the weekend gone by. Noah Clayberg doing what Noah Clayberg does for Dordt, 62 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns. He also accounted for another touchdown on the day, 230 yards passing with that passing touchdown. So he accounted for 4 on the day. Dordt beat Doane 44-19. Also, it was a pretty big day for the folks at Southwestern. The Mound Builders got big yardage from Wyatt and Jones, Keyshawn Wyatt, Keyshawn Jones, Wyatt and Jones, each with a touchdown, and each topped the century mark. Wyatt with 150 yards rushing on the day, Jones with 104 yards receiving on the day. Southwestern had a big upset, probably the biggest upset of the weekend. We'll get to that a little bit more in just a moment. For Tabor today, Brooks Gardner, actually this weekend, Brooks Gardner with a 60-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and the defense came up big for Tabor. Tabor with a 20-0 victory over St. Mary. Samuel Petrin for Central Methodist. Well, in special teams, he counted for 11 of 23 of the points that were scored on the day by Central Methodist. The Eagles beat Missouri Valley 23-13, and Petrin had 3 field goals and 2-point afters. So Midland, by the way, one more shout out really quickly before we get into the prime time. Midland, as a team, 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 interception return for a touchdown. Oh, and a kick return for a touchdown as well. So Midland beat Dakota Wesleyan 50-14. Now we'll get into a look at our Primetime 5, but we have to do this bonus right here. So this one is from William Penn. Now William Penn got the win on the day and defeated Graceland. But it was an interesting box score, and I don't think I've ever seen a box score like this before. And I had to look at it once, and I looked at it again, then I looked at it another time just to be sure of what I was looking at. And William Penn, 68 plays, no passes, none. Carried the ball all day long, led by Jace Neugebauer from William Penn. Now, if you're thinking, my goodness, what's the matter? Well, the starting quarterback out with an injury. Neugebauer comes in, and he's a linebacker, starting linebacker. He's an athlete, though, and he led the team well, directed the team, had some rushing yards himself, but he took care of business for William Penn. And so, again, box score was right, and I called to just verify this to make sure, and spoke with Wade up at William Penn, and yes, that is right, 68 plays, no passes at all. So that's your bonus coverage right there. Let's get into the Primetime 5 right now. And Derek Curtis from Ottawa as the Braves get the win. Curtis with 28 carries for 255 yards. And that's the most rushing yards this season in the NAIA. He also had a pair of touchdowns as well. Ottawa beat McPherson. I want to say that properly, 31-13. So Derek Curtis in the number 5 spot for the day. Number 4 for this weekend in the Primetime 5 from NAIA football. Let's talk about some Morningside, folks. And why not? Because, well, it's NAIA football, so you have to talk about Morningside, right? That's some kind of requirement. Reed Juergensmeyer for the Mustangs, 5 receptions for 123 yards and 3 touchdown catches. Not a bad day. Well, he had to get those passes from somebody. Of course, Joe Dolenchek steps in once again, 25 of 35 passing for 358 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Pretty spectacular day for him as well. And then, hey, listen, Morningside has a defense. You don't hear about it as much because you hear about the offense, but they do. Tyler Wingert with 2.5 sacks on the day. He has 5 sacks on the season. Morningside went ahead, got the win, 54-7, and that is a winning streak now of 33 consecutive games. That's, of course, off back-to-back national championships. Number 3 spot for the weekend, Brad Cagle from Southwestern. I mentioned the Mound Builders had the big upset of the weekend. Well, guess what? Cagle with 4 touchdowns accounted for on the day. He had 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 17 of 23 passing for 247 yards, 11 carries for 77 yards on the ground. Southwestern beat Kansas Wesleyan and stopped the Coyotes' 25-game winning streak in the KCAC. So Cagle in the number 3 spot, Southwestern. Number 2 spot in our primetime 5. How about this? J.J. Allen also accounted for 4 touchdowns on the day, all of them rushing touchdowns. He had 27 carries for 203 yards on Saturday. Now, this included 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. This was big because Bethany was trailing 21-6 entering the fourth quarter. J.J. Allen, with those 3 scores, had put together 20 points on the board, scored the only 20 points in the fourth quarter, and came back to defeat Sterling 26-21. J.J. Allen helped the Swedes to the first win of the season. Bethany now 1-2 on the year. And our number 1 spot in the Primetime 5 this week goes to Tyler Kuima and Shane Solberg for Northwestern. Tyler with 24 of 39 passing on the day, 407 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pair of picks as well. And, of course, he found Solberg, 11 receptions, 267 yards receiving. That is the most in the NAIA this season, 267 yards receiving. Also, he had a pair of touchdown catches as well. Those 2 passes from Kuima to Solberg, 2 touchdown receptions for him. Oh, and he also caught a 2-point conversion to help Northwestern beat Concordia. Now, this is also a big win. I don't know if this is an upset or not. I mean, the GPAC is a pretty tight league, and it's tough to come by wins there. Concordia, however, had been unbeaten coming into Saturday's game. Northwestern gets the win. And, of course, then they're at the top of our primetime 5. Now, couple other things, too, I want to mention before we sign off for the evening. Volleyball, some teams in the Midwest footprint, definitely having some good seasons so far. Park at 7-0, of course, won the national championship a couple of years ago. Park now in the Heart of America Conference, a little bit different league there, moving out of the American Midwest, and they're in the Heart now, along with Grandview at 6-0, Northwestern 10-1, the volleyball team this year, Evangels 9-1, Mid-America Christian at 8-1 on the season, William Penn 11-2. Some pretty good volleyball being played in the Midwest region. I also want to give a shout out tonight to the boys at NAIA F-Ball. Now, you need to follow those guys if you haven't already. Keep up with them because they're going to keep you up to date and up to speed on everything that is going on in the NAIA. When it comes to football, they're actually going to be trying their hands at flag football coverage this season as well. So they're the place to go with that. But a shout out then to Corey and to John from NAIA F-Ball. Now, if you haven't seen them, you need to check them out on Twitter. And look, there is a weekly NAIA football poll that is out. That's right, a weekly NAIA football poll that is out. And it keeps up with the teams that are playing right now and the teams that are going to be playing in the spring as well. Of course, Morningside tops that list, as you might imagine. Grandview in the number 2 spot there as well. A couple of teams from this Midwest sports region. So I hope you've enjoyed the Primetime 5 tonight, and it's been fun to get back and broadcast a little bit live. We will be doing Midwest Sports Saturday this year as well. So keep that in mind. Not only this academic year, I know we're going to get one in before the calendar turns from 2020 to 2021, which I'm sure most everyone would say just can't happen quickly enough. We're going to get into 2021 soon enough, but we will have a Midwest Sports Saturday coming up. It will be live on campus, and I believe that's headed for November. So we'll check that out, and we'll see about our December runs as well as to what we're going to do with Midwest Sports Saturday. But we will be out there, and I encourage you to watch along because it is such a privilege, and it's really enjoyable to get to go on these campuses, get to promote the schools, promote the programs, the athletic departments, get to visit with coaches, athletes, and more. And so that is on Midwest Sports Saturday a little bit later on. But thank you for watching Midwest Sports Now tonight. Again, our primetime 5 capped off by the Red Raiders from Northwestern. So be sure, tune in. We're going to do this again next week. We're working from a new location. We're in the process of building a new studio. What you see before you right now is not the finished product. I repeat, not the finished product. We have a ways to go with a lot of what we have, but it's going to be good. And I just encourage you to be along for the ride. So please, again, no matter what you're watching us, what venue it is tonight, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, or if you're watching us during the day in a replay, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Midwest Sportsnet, Midwest Sportsnet. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. God bless you. Have a great night.